to ask you to refrain from applause so that we can give them enough time. Go ahead.
All right,
Thank you.
The next question. Another big concern facing Nashvillians is the skyrocketing cost of living. According to the Alliance for Affordable Nashville, in 2017, 72% of zip codes in Nashville were considered affordable. Just 4 years later, that number had dropped to just 21%, and it is even lower today. Aside from the obvious answer of increasing funding, what will you do as mayor to create more affordable housing in Nashville? Freddie O'Connell.
Great, thanks. I think, David, I'd actually go further than your question and say, how do we retain the affordable housing that exists? One of the most important things I put on the table would be to start coordinating the tools we have. Thanks to Representative Love's leadership at the state level, a great example of a state and local partnership, he increased the income threshold for those 65 and up in Nashville who up to $60,000 a year now can participate in a property tax freeze and relief program. That means rising property values and correspondingly rising property taxes are less likely to keep seniors from being pushed out of their homes. The mayor's office has tremendous power working across multiple metro departments to get the data to identify all of the people who could possibly participate in that program. We have an affordable housing task force report. We're in progress on many of its key recommendations. One of the least used pieces of that report so far has been looking at additional sources of revenue to have creative opportunities to continue to invest. But over the past few years, I on Metro Council and joined by a coalition of colleagues have made sure to invest $30 million a year, a key recommendation of the Barnes Housing Trust Fund. Those dollars typically get leveraged in the private sector 6 times over to bring money in. I will also say transit is affordable housing policy. It's one of the biggest missing pieces we have in our affordability toolkit, our accessibility toolkit, our mobility toolkit. Transit and affordable housing need to be linked together as we tackle cost of living, and we shouldn't miss out on wages. I expect to have an Office of Opportunity that looks at a whole spectrum of wage increases.
Thank you. Alice Rolli.
So the first way we made living in this city less affordable is raising taxes. And so the idea that making the city more affordable means spending more of your money, I think is hard for most Nashvillians to get their minds around. We today, after 8 years of budget decisions, have raised the per capita property taxes by about 70%. Look across what is collected and how many people live here, and do the math. We are collecting a massive amount more from your paycheck, more from other things that you could be spending your money on. So first, not raising taxes. Secondly, making sure that your child can go to a school that you want your child to go to, that is high quality, that your tax dollars are paying for. We see high quality publicly funded schools all over the county. We see many with waiting lists, and we see parents having to opt out when there's not a seat for them. That contributes to an affordability challenge. There is clearly a space for the government to get out of the way if we are holding up permitting. How do we become more customer focused to bring permits, to bring projects online so that we are not contributing to higher costs because of the higher carrying costs? There is also appropriately, through the Barn Fund and through some other avenues, a place for government to be a part of the capital stack so that we can have affordable units as a part of new multifamily developments coming on transit corridors across the county.
Thank you.
All right, we want to turn now to transit.